Okay, so if you've mastered the placement of wagonways, you are now the owner of the greatest mines. You've got so many resources. You are ready to build a proper railway. You want to go all the way to the archives, or maybe connect your villages in a multiplayer server. How do we do that? How do we build the big trains? So let's go ahead. First, we're gonna grab again our linkage pole. We're gonna be needing that. And we're gonna go into here and we're gonna look at at what we've got. And first, we've got a simple locomotive. The simple tier is a great compromise between power and cost. So as you can see, these are very much just like minecarts. You need an engine, you need some flatbeds, and just some random parts, transmissions, brass. This is fairly cheap, all things considered. As a matter of fact, this might get buffed in the actual release. So we're gonna go ahead and grab it. We've also got cargo carriages. These, as you can see, have one storage slot with a size of 20. And they're fairly cheap to craft. All you need is some boxes and stuff. They don't have to be aged. I don't know why the game's showing that. But we've also got the boxcar, which has 2 slots for a total of 64 slots of inventory. Quite a lot. And this is something that we have, is that on top of the different tiers of locomotive, we also include different tiers of wagons. So you'll start off with some cheaper wooden ones that have a decent amount of storage, but isn't exactly mass storage. And then you'll have the late game boxcars, metal stuff. So let's grab all that. And we've also got the railway segments. So we've got forks and we've got turns and we've got all sorts of stuff. Now in this case, we're just gonna grab the straight ones and some turns. We're just gonna make a little loop. But how do you craft these, right? Well, all you need is some boards and some iron rods in this case. Now this seems quite expensive. It gives you 192, but it is quite a lot of iron rods. So if you are in single player, right, you can instead build the wooden ones, which you can search here. There you go, railway segment, and as you can see, this is basically some support beams. This is very cheap to produce. It gives you 48 of them for what is equivalent to like a tree. So this is great. Now, what's the difference? Why wouldn't I always go with wood, right? If it's so much cheaper. This is because wood has a limit velocity. You will not be able to go faster even if you're using the best fuel and the latest locomotive. It will be clamped. So let's go ahead and start a little railway. We're not gonna reuse that one. That one's just for the thumbnail. So we're gonna, set it apart from the rest over here, and we're gonna start placing it down. First thing you'll notice, besides the ghost, is that they are 2 in size. And they also have colliders. Unlike most things in Vintage Story, these actually have colliders that occupy multiple spaces. So we're putting them down as we go. Oops, left one out. You don't want to do that. You'll derail the train if you're missing one of them. Ooh, another one. Oh. Unlike the wagon ways, these ones will not automatically flip. So if I put one here, it's not going to transform into a turn. You actually need to craft these. And to craft these, you just take the regular ones and put them in different shapes in the crafting grid. So it's fairly easy. Let's go ahead, do this. Now you'll notice, it's like, okay, if I put this down, what happens if I wanted to turn the other way? How do I mirror a turn piece? Well, thankfully, this is done by simply looking in a different of the 2 spots. So if you're looking to the right, it's going to go left. If you're looking to the left, it's going to turn right. Very simple. And if for whatever reason it doesn't quite work, or you don't like it how it's set up, you can just go to the other end and you can set up some other rail, and you can just go okay, let's put that here. It's just like as a matter of fact, let's just put it here like that. There you go. So now we've got our little thing going on, a little loop. Let's finish it up. Now let's imagine, this is your house, that's your friend's house. How do we get there? How do we finally make the big engines? So first thing you're going to want to do is, just like before, we're going to get a preview. We're going to put down the locomotive. Now, this depends a little bit on where you're looking. Like, for example, if I look at the segment it's not going to work, it's going to be on a specific side. There's some technical reasoning for it that you don't have to worry about. So we just look in a place, And depending on which direction we're looking, the locomotive is going to try and look in that direction. So if we look in this direction, the locomotive is going to go that way. If we look in this direction, it's going to go this way. Now I want it to go this way because I wanted to have the long side so I can place the other cars. So let's go ahead and place it. Click, and it's down. All right, we've got it. So let's say I also want to put down here the other one. Now you'll see it's yellow. This is basically warning us that it might be a little tight. Maybe it'll reject the placement. Maybe it won't. This is mostly just a security feature. Since I'm in single player, I know it's going to allow it. There you go. So now we've got our little cargo carriage. Unlike the wagon flatbeds, these don't let you put anything on them. You can't put vessels or anything to expand their cargo capacity. These are fixed. But the good thing is that they do it very well. As you can see, this is quite a lot of cargo for what is equivalent to a few boxes. So the gist of it is that big locomotives are the dedicated purpose variant. You know, they're the kind that go fast and they can carry a lot of weight and they do one thing very, very well. While the wagon ways, they can do a lot of things. You can use them for whatever you can think of, but they're not going to do it as well as a big locomotive. Now, I don't want to use these. This is a little bit primitive for my taste, so I'm going to pick it up by crouching and right-clicking. Now, if this were to be connected, let's go ahead and connect these two. I'll explain a bit more what's going on here in a second. It won't let me pick it up. It's going to give you an error. It's going to say, sorry, this is attached to something. You can't take it away. It's got a link. Look at that. So what you're going to do is you're going to left-click. That's going to just break it. You can pick it up. You saw some color flash. Don't worry about it yet. So now we're going to put down some passenger carriages. There you go. And I'm going to put down a boxcar too. I love the boxcar. Look at it. It has a door that opens and everything. It's really cool. Wonderful. Now the boxcars, you'll notice, if we look at their handbook entry, it says that there's 2 storage slots. Not one with 64, but 64 slots across 2 of them. What does that mean? Well, that means if I go here and I put down some turns, right? And then I go to the other side, you'll notice that it's missing. Now, this is not an error. This is actually that there's 2 separate containers in the boxcar that will allow you to store stuff independently of each other. So that's quite a lot of carry capacity for this later tier car. Now it's getting dark, so let's go ahead and build a little station. Excellent, we have our station. So let's go up here, and you'll notice the station is quite important because the standard gauge cars, they're quite tall. It's going to be quite difficult. You can, but it's going to be quite difficult to get onto these cars without having a platform to walk into. So let's go ahead in here, and as you can see from here, I can see the seats a lot better, and I can sit in them. Oh, very great. And there's 6 of them. This late tier allows you to carry quite a lot of players. Now, we've got the station, we've got everything. What do we do? How do we get started? Let's grab our linkage pole, and you'll notice, one, we've got the outlines like before. There's this little wire box going around all of them. It's different colors because they're not linked, but they're also blinking. What was that? What does that mean? Why are they blinking? Is this like a secret disco mode? No, unfortunately. It's not a secret disco mode. This is actually indicating where you have to click. Again, there are some complicated technical reasons for it, but the short of it is that Vintage Story doesn't really have a hitbox system the way we think of it. So we had to create our own. Now, in this case, the place that you want to click is the boiler. The boiler is big, and it's round, and it's beautiful, and you can right-click on it. And then you can click on the car below it. Here, in this case, because the seats are in the way, we can't make it taller, so you have to click on the floor of the carriage. Now it's connected. They both share a color. So let's go ahead, do the next one. Excellent, they're all connected. Except for this one, which thankfully we can just click anywhere here. Ooh, very nice. So, like before, we're going to go ahead. We probably want to look at the body again, the area that was marked by the linkage pole. You can tell quite easily whether or not you can interact with something based on whether or not a pop-up shows up above. If it says simple locomotive, that's probably the place to click. So we're going to add our water. Wonderful, so now it's got water. Not a lot of it. These can take quite a lot of water to operate for a very long time. And we're going to add our black coal. Now, as you can see, since this is like a simple tier and stuff like that, it can go up to 1100, which is a little bit below the black coal, but still quite good. As I mentioned before, you cannot light these with your hand, but you can right click on it and you can ignite it. Better done with a torch in the offhand in case that the UI doesn't open, so let's go ahead and do that. Excellent, we are ignited. So we're gonna sit right here, and you can see that the controls are essentially the same. We've got our lever that goes back and forth, we've got another lever that goes to the sides, and we've got our whistle. Now this is something that only big locomotives have, or at least that you can only do manually with big locomotives. So if we right click, how very delightful. You can announce your arrival at the station using this. And as before, you click and you start moving. Now we're off to the races. We have completed a loop. As before, you can use the keys to like move stuff around. You can do this. You can start moving backwards if you wanted to. Like, oh, we overshot it. We're getting back to the station. Hold on, everybody. And then you can just, you know, you can press 5 and stop it. There you go. Oh, we've done it. We have built a locomotive. We've driven it. You are now an expert driver and can be trusted with a several-ton machine. I just dumped the fluid instead of extinguishing it. Damn. But it lets me show you off that, yeah, you can tell what kind of liquid is in the machine based on the color. In this case, there is no liquid. Alright, so what are the other railway pieces, real quick? Well, we've got all the basics. We've got turns, we have short terms, which are a smaller type of it. Now, the reason why you might want to use the longer turns over the smaller ones, if you're quite perceptive, you might have already noticed, which is that there's a track penalty. The track penalty dictates the speed reduction that will happen when you go over it. So you might get a reduction of 20% on a big piece, and you'll get quite a big reduction on the sharp turn. What this means, in short, is that you want to really plan ahead your route to avoid the usage of the shorter rail pieces as much as possible. In a pinch, however, you can of course use them. Now, speaking of being in a pinch, let's assume the very, perfectly reasonable event of, oh no, my friend Jacob Jared, that's his name, he did this part, right, from his village, Mount Dirtmoor, and my village, Double Dirtmoor. We started from each side, and oh no, they don't align. What are we gonna do? You can't exactly like do a turn here. This is gonna get weird, right? So how do we connect them? It's just one block. If it was two, maybe we could use turns, but it's just one of them. How do we do it? This is what we have the swerve piece for. This is for correcting errors. As you can see, it mirrors depending on where you look, so just make sure to look at the right end, and boom, we've got it. But with a larger gauge, you'll notice that these are a lot bigger. We've got, these take 4 spaces. That's quite a lot, and in most mountains, unless it's a very gentle slope, that's going to be quite difficult. This is meant to sort of like discourage climbing mountains, on top of like already the rather steep penalty for going up. Generally, you don't want to try and climb a mountain with a steam engine. So you will either have to terraform, dig a tunnel, or the most realistic option, which is to simply go around the mountain. The train moves very fast, so going around a mountain doesn't really take much time. If you're dead set on climbing it, we do have some smaller pieces that are going to absolutely destroy movement speed, but I'm not your mom, you can do it. This mod is for your enjoyment, so you get to choose how you choose to tackle problems. If you are completely lacking in foresight, you can absolutely just go up the mountain, nobody's gonna try and stop you. Except maybe the laws of physics.